Sorry. Start over.
No, don't start over. Let's go.
One of our other producers has just told us to correct our posture.
Yes, maybe we should do a hair flip. It's Schmoopy time. It's Schmoopy time.
Okay.
Thank you so much, dear listener, for writing into podcast at smithspencer.com with your burning questions. Keep them coming. Okay. Dear Schmoopy, I am thinking of getting a divorce. We own our primary residence and some rental property together. What do I need to know? Schmoopy, tell us everything you know about real estate and divorce.
Very little. Never been through a divorce. I don't know that I've even had clients that were divorcing. I think
You're too young. It's coming. The wave is a coming.
Yeah. My friends are too young. I think you got to talk to a divorce attorney.
Yes, that is the correct advice.
Qualified to give advice on that.
Well,
you might be. You've done it.
Yeah, I've done it. It's fucking awesome. So a lot of the people listening, we have our listeners in Burkina Faso and Mozambique and Colorado as well.
Yep.
So it depends on your country and your state. So that's why you need to contact a divorce attorney so that they can tell you all the different rules. But I will, for fun, I guess, tell you about what my experience was like.
Yes, we like fun.
Well, it was I think it's useful. So actually, because my ex-husband and I did own a lot of rental property together too, and that kind of complicates things. I think divorce and real estate are two things that everyone thinks that they know about, and they don't know jack shit. Mm-hmm. So I think this is another example where you have to be like really careful about who you consult with.
Yes.
And okay, so this was my experience. And first of all, I think my ex-husband listens to the podcast, and this is in no way I'm going to list factual information, and it's not anything about him, okay, as a person. But he was a real estate investor and owned real estate before we got married. And, I was 24 when we got married, and probably should have consulted with an attorney prior to getting married so that I would have understood how all of that real estate would be handled. Of course, when you get married, you don't think that you're going to get divorced.
Lesson number 1 is don't get married till your age starts with a 3.
That was Erin's rule. And my suggestion for marriage, that if I can change the world in one way, would be that it has to be just as difficult to get married as to get divorced.
And you used to have a
none of you were married. Are any of you married?
A 7-year contract.
Don't fucking do it. What's the 7-year contract?
You have to renew your contract every 7 years, both husband and wife.
Oh,
we used to talk about this. It was your idea, I think, when you were going through the divorce.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I was young and very naive and whatever. And, because my ex-husband owned the real estate before we got married, it was not considered marital property. So I knew that I wanted to get a divorce and started seeing a divorce attorney in year 8 of my marriage. I went to see this terrible divorce attorney.
What's her name?
I don't know what her name is, but
Just
she
kidding.
was downtown, and she was like out of a television show, and she had this fabulous hair and a blue dress. And I went in and I was so anxious and scared, and like I couldn't talk, and I was just like so ashamed. I did not want to get divorced. I was embarrassed. My ex-husband and I had a business together. It was awful. And so I was just like embarrassed. Like I didn't want anybody to see me. So I went in there and I was like, oh, I'm going to, whatever. I want to leave. And she was just like talking about how he was an asshole and all this stuff. And I was like, no, nobody did anything. It wasn't like that. I just want out.
He's not an asshole.
Get me out.
Yeah.
Definitely not. He's actually loads of fun. So then she told me in that conversation that I needed to stay married until year 10 so that the marital assets could be split 50-50. I just remembered that that was her advice, and I didn't hire her or anything. So I stayed married until year 10 and then started interviewing other divorce attorneys. So whatever, we went to counseling. We were separated for a little while. We got back together. I told him it was the last year. Didn't work. I knew it wasn't going to work out. But that was terrible advice because out-earned my ex-husband.
Don't be sorry.
And so this bitch assumed all this shit about me because I was a woman. She assumed my ex-husband was an asshole and had done something wrong. And she it would have been better for me financially to get out in year 8. Mm-hmm. I learned later. I should have just done it then financially.
Because she assumed that because he was the man, he was the breadwinner.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And didn't ask me any questions like that. Mm-hmm. And then didn't ask me any questions about the property that was purchased while we were married or any of the other real estate that we owned. So the other advice that I have, or the experience that I had that I will share with you, is like, again, my ex-husband and I, nobody did anything to each other. I assumed it would be very amicable. The divorce attorney that I hired told me that it would not turn out that way, that it would be contentious no matter what, because feelings were hurt. And she was right. So I remember, I was like, why are we going to pay divorce attorneys? Like, you and I can just work this out. It's going to be fine. I'll take this. You take this. This is fair. And he was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Mm-hmm. No. And that's the last time I talked to him about real estate. So I think if you think that unless you just have an angelic man. Do you know one?
No.
Generous.
I mean, no.
I feel like I hear guys tell me that they were like really good to their ex-wives, but they're also single and hiring me to be their real estate agent.
You know who might be an angelic man?
Who?
Nick Cann.
Nick Cann is an angelic man. That's right. He's our favorite. No. I hear guys just say, if you don't want your ex-wife to hate you for the rest of your life, then you should be angelic in the divorce. But I don't think that's how it turns out. My ex-husband and I had to hire a forensic accountant because we had a business together and owned real estate together and separately and all this stuff. And I just remember staring at this spreadsheet in this conference room for 3 hours, and it was literally the worst fucking day of my entire life. As I watched like everything that I had financially supported, because I was doing that for the whole time, just like being taken off my fucking side of the spreadsheet. So, hindsight is 2020. My divorce attorney just told me to she's like, you're young, you're 35, just go make it back. Don't pay me to fight over this business and all this real estate. But my point is, what you think what you think is going to be straightforward. Oh, he's going to give you the house. Oh, you're going to get this. No, that is not how it's going to go down. So you need to hire a divorce attorney, and just like any professional relationship, including real estate, you need to pick somebody who's a personality match. Like, I had people being like, oh, you want this pit bull? I'm like, I don't want a pit bull. Yeah. Like, I just want somebody who's kind and nice and not going to milk me for money. Like, I just want to be done, just done. So I found the right person who's retired, or else I would recommend her. And it's way more expensive than you think, even if it's friendly. And
you don't hate each other.
No, we do not hate each other.
And one of the best things in your life is a product of your divorce, because Smith Spencer would not be here. Right?
Yeah. My ex-husband introduced me to real estate. Thank goodness for that.
Well, and when you split away from the past business because of the divorce.
Then I proposed to you because I really wanted to stay married, just to a different person.
Partner. Yeah.
Aww. Yeah. Look at you seeing the silver lining in all of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I think that you should consult with all of your friends who have been through a divorce, and
several attorneys too.
Yep. Interview away. It's terrible, but for all of my friends that have been through it, you got to get all the the nasty shit behind you as soon as possible. If you know that you want to do it. I mean, I can just say from my personal experience, like I knew in year 5 that the relationship was dead, toast, and I did not get divorced until year 10. So like, you know, I hung in it as long as I could. I did not want to be divorced. And so I know how hard it is making that decision, and it's very, very scary. And, you know, but my life is exactly the way that I want it now. And so that's what I had envisioned. And so it was worth it. So I'm sorry that you're going through this challenge, but that's life.
It is.
So thank you so much for writing in. I actually have requested that we get a divorce attorney on the podcast so they can talk about the laws specific to South Carolina, because I think that's a lot of stuff that real estate professionals here and our listeners would like to know. And so we will work on doing that, but please keep your questions coming to podcast@smithspencer.com. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe, and tell all of your friends about this vague, sometimes informative podcast.
Bitch fest.
Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye.